I'm here at Thyme, an idyllic village within a village in the heart of the Cotswolds. It consists of a boutique hotel, a restaurant, a spa, a cookery school, a farm and the gardens. My brief was to follow the ethos of Thyme, which is a love of the land and nature. All of the gardens I've designed around the buildings are aimed to be outdoor rooms, so there's effortless connectivity between the inside and the out. This is the lodge, and in contrast with the other gardens, it really needed very little doing to it at all because it had some magnificent assets. Obviously, this amazing cedar tree, healthy, huge, and it really seems to anchor the house into the landscape. Secondly, it's got these beautiful panoramic views of the countryside landscape wrapping in front of it, and you can see the sheep working away in the distance. The problems we did have was we've got two downstairs bedrooms and they are very close together. So we wanted to form a little outside space, one for each bedroom, and we wanted to divide them so they both had a little bit of privacy. But we obviously didn't want to put a fence crashing down the middle of the house. So what we did is we've just used pots with laurels in them, standard laurels, and we put quite a few of them, and they sort of form a barrier between the two without it looking too heavy. We've done a wide stretch of paving, we've surrounded them with just gentle planting, some furniture, and they work really well. Secondly, this lawn is just for the lodge, really. The lawn down there is for people coming from the other part of the hotel to the spa. So I wanted to just define the boundary a little bit more. So we have just upped that division a bit by adding some more topiary, just to semi-break it and make people quite sure and quite aware that they are two separate entities, and we don't really want all the guests coming onto this more private lawn. I had to move the hedge on the right-hand side over there because I needed more space for the spa building. So the lawn has actually decreased in size a bit, but I've kept the feeling of the curves that the hornbeam hedge formed before, but just moved them in slightly, and I think it works really well.
On the other side of the left hedge lies a true chill-out garden.
This is the garden to the spa. We finished it about 18 months ago, and when I first arrived on site, it was just a gravel drive leading down to the garage at the far end. When it came to actually fixing the layout of the space, there were certain criteria. This is the area where all the treatment rooms are. So this is where you need people away from the windows. You don't want people looking in, walking past, talking and chattering. It has to be calm. So we've created this buffer zone of planting right in front of the windows. And instead of just filling it full of all sorts of plants, I've actually spaced them out. And I did this pattern of checks with granite sets, and I put the planting intermittently within the checkerboard, so it creates a lighter, looser feel, but it still works just as well in keeping people away from the windows. It also means that it's quite interesting. Even in the winter, you can read the granite set pattern, and then you can see the repetitive planting pattern as well. For the yew planting, which give a bit of height, we've used topiary yews, and those came with just two balls, top and middle. And then I put them in the granite set squares, and I added an extra low plinth of yew around the bottom just to make them a bit more fulsome. The planting palette is kept simple again. Aromatic plants, very important. Things like lavender that just relaxes you. I've got hydrangeas, salvias, roses, lots of scented plants, plants that calm you, plants that you enjoy looking at, touching and feeling. There are lots of herbs used throughout the garden because herbs are really the essence of the spa, herbal treatments, herbal remedies, and obviously we've bigged up the use of them in the garden too. The greenhouse, which was formerly a proper horticultural greenhouse, has been converted into the reception for the spa. To bring a bit of height into the space, I've punctuated with these multi-stem osmanthus trees. These are wonderful evergreen trees. They've got lovely fragrant flowers in summer. They're put in the baseless pots surrounded by gravel. The rest of the space really comprises of a large chill out zone around a fire bowl and seats, and it's quite open, quite sparsely populated with things, so you can really relax there and just enjoy your space having had your treatments. We've got the 2 little seats in the alcove in the hedge, which I brought in stone piers to frame, and then I'll put a wooden bench and then a seat of estate fencing around the back. And that estate fencing, which we use on the back of the seats and here on the gates, is quite a simple, really agricultural feel to it. But instead of just having straightforward finishes on the gates, sometimes we've changed them to the acid etch. The timber posts with the estate fencing make it slightly more rustic, more low-key, and adds just a lovely contrast between the metal and the wood. The client really wanted to emphasise the importance that this space should be really relaxing and calm. To this effect, we've used green a lot. Green on the doors, the windows, on the greenhouse. Green has a very spiritual feeling about it. It reinforces nature. It does make you feel much more relaxed and calm. And it can be a limey green, which seems more exhilarating, or it can be a soft sage green. There's so many permutations of it, but it is a fantastic colour, and it's one that you can use with endless variation in your palette. There's no colour I like more than green.